Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nitty Gritty Talks podcast where we keep it real about teenage life and struggles. I hope you enjoy. You're here with Ethel,
Nancy.
Albert, and our guest for today is.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacque Owden.
So we hope you stick around because we have a lot installed for you. Welcome.
So today's topic that we've prepared for you is
Being my own superhero. And we're here with Jacque Owden, as she has introduced herself, and she is the host of Mental Go TZ podcast, a podcast that is also talking about mental health.
So check it out after looking at Nitty Gritty Talks.
Yes.
So firstly, have you ever been discriminated against because of your age?
So that's an interesting question. Basically, not, but more like someone telling me that my dreams or what I believe in is insignificant. Like, so there was this time when I wanted to pursue psychology, and some of my friends, you have to ask around, like, how is it? How is the field, So I asked some of my friends, and they were like, are you dreaming? Like, this is really not going to happen in Tanzania. Like, it's not even a field that people are looking up to be. Like, being a psychologist in Tanzania doesn't work. That's something more like in European countries. So for me, that was really like a challenge. I started questioning myself, like, okay, so this is not going to work out for me. Should I just be a doctor or pursue medicine like other students or other people? So for me, it wasn't more like my age, but basically people looking down on my dreams or what I wanted to pursue. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's very interesting. For those of you who didn't understand the point of the podcast on the topic, being your own superhero is like defending yourself against bullying or types of discrimination that you've got. Like how she saw the chance of her being bullied, not bullied, of being looked down on because of her age. And she took that as motivation of her career choice. Sorry, not age, career choice. And she took that as motivation.
She wanted to study psychology, but people disregarded her choice, saying that it's only for like European countries. So like, I think that's also something we, as the youth are experiencing, specifically teenagers. Like when we tell our parents, "Oh, I want to study music." I know that's far off, but it's not like the same as psychology. But like it's far off, but it's still like something a person can pursue. It's not impossible,
True.
And someone can actually make
A name out of this.
a name out of it or like a living out of it. It's just that I feel like our parents are more looking down on things that weren't looked as very high earning in the past, and they're comparing it to our generation.
Exactly. Like I have some of my friends that wanted to pursue like music at uni, and a parent having that idea that I have to pay for tuition fee for you to study music. Like, are you serious? So it's a really I think something that needs to be done, like educating parents that it's not just about being a doctor or being an engineer. Like there are other career paths that you can go for and work out eventually. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I know a person, I don't remember their name, but his parents support him. He wants to be a football player, and his parents support him, and he's even like in, I don't know which country, but it's like
He's in an academy.
He's in an academy.
Like a football academy for like studying, training to
that's
be a
really
football player. And it's really nice, especially if we have parents supporting us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like also the parents are looking at security, Like, because if I pay for you to study, I could have used that money in a business investment. So I'm investing in you. And then you're telling me a career like music where when I look forward, I don't see you making a living out of yourself. So I'll be afraid a bit. I think that's them just trying to show us their fear.
And also, if you look at the music industry now, maybe if you want to be like maybe Diamond Platinums, if I tell my mom I want to be like Diamond Platinums, she's not going to refuse for me to take music. But the person I'm trying to be is also
True.
That's also affecting. Even though I don't want to be them, I just want to be a musician. I feel like the music industry has created this space where parents feel like it's not the best choice for one to take. Yeah.
Like if they look at those singers or musicians, they'll be like, you want to be that person,
Exactly.
you know? So it's just like, you just can't tell a parent, like, I want to be a musician. But then eventually I think the good thing to do is speak up for yourself, like what you believe in.
So on your friends and people around you telling you that no, psychology isn't something you should pursue because of like another market, what did you do? Yeah,
That's interesting. So I took a moment. I took a moment and I asked myself, like, does this make sense to me? You know, I didn't want to limit myself, and I took a moment and I asked myself, like, what are my abilities? You know, human beings, psychologically speaking, human beings are wired differently. Like, probably my friends told me that based on their experience or what they know, but I am a different person. I'm Jacqueline, and I know my abilities, I know my weakness, and my drive is what will get me there. So I believed my dreams, and I first started by believing in myself. Like, I know who I am. And for you to believe in your dreams and go for it, you have to believe in yourself. So it all started by me believing in myself, knowing who I am, believed in myself. And then I started, like, I didn't wait to go to uni. So I just started, like, reaching out to people, educating them about mental health. And it all started there. I got opportunities by just reaching out to people. So I think as a youth or a teenager who is listening right now, like, you need to start by knowing who you are and believe in yourself, and eventually you'll believe in your dreams. Yeah.
That's a really good, advice to everyone listening.
I know
But-
who I am.
Yeah, but then like just a side question sort of. As you wanted to start this your podcast and pursue this like your degree in psychology, bachelor's in psychology, did you at some point feel like maybe okay, it's like a trend, everyone's doing mental health, so like people will think I'm also doing mental health because everyone else is doing it?
Well, not really, because if you look specifically here in Tanzania, mental health podcasts are not so many. Like, we have just, and like, if you take an example for like Michael Baruti, he has his audience is specifically for men. But even though like even women do listen, but his target is men's mental health. And as for me, my target is to educate, to create a platform where people get to have conversations about mental health. So like, having a podcast about mental health doesn't make you like you're doing the same thing that people are doing, but how do you differentiate yourself from other people in terms of content, in terms of how you talk about things, the people where you search for information, are they valid, are they factual, So like, I was like, okay, probably a podcast is something common to other countries, but not specifically in Tanzania. Like, even if you try to convince people to listen to Mental Glow specifically, they'll be like, people mostly used to reach out to YouTube, as compared to Spotify or even Google Podcast. So it's really challenging as in our context as compared to outside. So I was like, I think it's a great platform to educate people. So yeah.
You see, it's a good idea. So if you have a passion about something, go for it. Don't listen to what people are saying.
Yeah, you never know. It might help someone along the way.
Exactly.
Encourage them, motivate
True.
them even.
But at the same time, yeah, like in our country, for people to like go see therapists and like look for or search for mental help, yeah. Around the people around me, like my family relatives, nobody goes to the therapist.
Yeah.
That's one. Nobody listens to podcasts. I feel like I'm among the first person who listens to podcasts in our house. My grandparents don't listen to podcasts. They don't speak about mental health. How do you plan to like, how can I say, like draw those people? Because you can't just start with, yes, you start with us, but at the same time, how can you like expand the audience
From the youth to the older
yeah,
people.
like to the older people?
Well, interesting is that when you look at my stats, my podcast stats, most people that do listen are older people. So yeah, like ranging from 18 to 24 to 24 to 30, and then from like 30 to like 45. So like and so like I was also amazed, like even older people do listen, you know. So it's something that maybe some people do not know about it, but they're also curious, like what is mental health? And right now, Tanzania, it's like the trending topic, like everywhere you just hear about mental health. So it has started to raise some curiosity into people's minds. So even older people, but something is disturbing, like what about for those people who don't have access to internet? How are they going to know, you know? So I started like going physically to people. Like last year, I went to Zanzibar. I also do content creation. So like I created these posters and I handed out to people, like the vendors at Stone Town. I educated them. And interesting is that they said for them, like if a person has, let's say, depression or any kind of mental health problem, they'll attribute that to witchcraft. You know, they'll attribute that to witchcraft. So it's like there has to be first educational awareness raising on mental health for people to be aware that, okay, I think I have mental health problem. I should go see a psychologist or a therapist. So it has to start with educating people, for those who have access to internet and for those who do not have access to internet. Yeah, that's what I think.
Exactly. But then, there's an issue, yeah? I understand. I'm also passionate about mental health. But now, I feel like people are using mental health very loosely.
As an excuse.
Exactly, as an excuse. Someone could just
do
be
something
rude
outrageous and be like,
and outrageous. And once you try to come back to them, and then they'll be like, no, my mental health is at stake. Like, are you sure?
Even at school, yeah? I don't even know. I'll just sit down and I'll be like, I can't go to math today. My mental health.
And then you sit there like...
Or you're in chemistry class and you're like, I'm not going to listen. My mental health isn't pushing me to do so.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it has a line. Like, for example, when you're in class, unless you're having a panic attack or a total breakdown, like if you have that, you can leave the class and be like, okay, this is affecting my mental health. But if it's just a normal day in class and nothing big happened to you, and then you're saying, I can't listen now because of my mental health, none of us want to be there.
Yeah.
It's not like all of us are like, we want to be here. Our mental health loves this. None of us want to be there.
I feel like it's the issue about where to draw the line, because at the same point, you may find maybe a person really doesn't want to be there, but because we're all taking it as a joke, we are going to affect them. At the same time, how do you differentiate it between it's a joke and it's not a joke? So it's all about, I think, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, where do you draw the line? And I also think people really need to be keen when addressing things as a mental health issue, you know. Like some people don't even know the difference between being stressed or having depression. Like somebody may be stressed, but he'll be like, no, I have depression, you know. So it's something that we need to know, but you won't be able to say that you have you're stressed if you don't know what depression really entails, you know. So we need to start by educating ourselves and stop misusing these terms.
Exactly. Or you could catch someone saying, I think, like, everyone at some point in their lives has ADHD. You don't have ADHD. Wow. You're just, hype up. You don't have ADHD. Calm down. Exactly. True. And I feel like it's also a bit, not offensive, but like it's somehow disregards the struggles of people who actually have those struggles.
It's like you're saying you are actually struggling with it, but me, I'm gonna take this chance to shine about it, even though I'm not struggling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So on the light of that side, we can move more to the darker side of things, to the bullying side. So guys often browbeat or intimidate each other with STEM and abusive words, and sort of use their flaws against one another more often than girls. While on the other hand, girls often are not straightforward.
That's very true.
Yeah, so you'd be giving each other like pity comments, you know. But how can we say no to psychological or emotional abuse from friends?
So basically, it starts by all knowing what exactly is emotional abuse, you know. Like, does it wear down your self-esteem or mental health, And the only thing, I think for me, the first thing to do is by setting boundaries, Like when you talk about emotional abuse, there are several forms, like people can blame you and then you get emotionally disturbed, or abused, and other people can call you names, Some people may even make it as a joke, but then they don't even know if it affects you. So set boundaries. You can reach out to that person and be like, hey, I don't like how you call me. Like some people think that calling a person fat, hey fatty, calling a person fat, it actually it disturbs a person's emotionally, So set boundaries. Tell a person or tell your friends or even peers, like, hey, I know that it might sound like a joke, but it doesn't sit right with me. So please do not address these words when you're talking about me or my body or how I behave. Like setting boundaries, it always the start. And also, I think another thing to do is report. Like, you need to report, and for you to be perceived as someone who is serious and not taking emotional abuse lightly, you need to reach out to people that maybe they're even older than you and report. And I think if you do that, it also helps to minimize the rate of emotional abuse. So just report to people. And also another thing I think is speak with friends. Like in psychology, we believe like letting things out can help to relieve all the pain, all the anger, all the distress that you have. If you think that you're not okay to talking to people, then you can also do journaling, like write down what you feel, what your emotions, how it affects you, all the negative things. And also you can take it as a challenge, like, do you see yourself as that person? How those people are addressing you? Like, do you see yourself as those people? So you can even challenge those emotions that you feel. And then eventually, if it starts too much, you can also seek for help. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true.
Therapy is also there.
True.
The problem is, like, for a guy, it's hard to tell your friends that, because then you're seen as soft. So you'll be like, I can take it. Because for example, I have this theory, like guys have this theory that if you can make fun of someone else, why should you be made fun of? Like the problem is, people have a different tolerance rates, right?
Yeah.
I could make fun of you, and then you could make fun of me. When I make fun of you, it might not be serious to you, but what you make fun of me might be serious to me. But when I talk about mine, when I talk about me being offended, you're like, you make fun of me too. But it's not the same level. You get me? I can make fun of you of your shoes, but then you make fun of my image. You could change your shoes, but not your image. You get me?
Okay, I think so. I think so.
In short,
Your
it's
point
it's hard
is-
for guys to tell their friends that this is too much for me.
Or like setting boundaries.
Yeah, because then you're like, I can't take it, and you're seen as soft.
Man up. Like you should
Like
man
yeah,
up.
be a man. Come on.
But then, I mean, it's not necessary. I feel like that's the whole thing about patriarchy.
Touch it.
Exactly. Like how patriarchy and the whole system,
I think we're getting too serious. we're getting too serious.
But anyways, yeah, that's my whole point. But then I feel like also, if you're not a person who's into, sharing with friends, you can also do therapy.
True.
Yeah.
You're advocating for therapy right now.
Yeah. I go to therapy.
Nice.
So
I cannot speak on the side of how men can set boundaries, but I can speak on my own view. I would say the moment I tell you I'm not comfortable with doing something, and you keep on like pushing or you keep on calling me names, I have this habit where I like shut down. My brain just whew.
Yeah.
And my dad and my mom have told me so many times, Ethel, you can't do that, because my dad would be like talking to me, but I'm looking at you, but I'm actually not listening. And I feel like it's a mechanism that whenever you're throwing something that's going to hurt me, I'll just shut down.
Yeah.
So it's a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism for me. It's the same as I was reading my Bible and I remember it's a verse in Galatians, and it said, treat everything with kindness. And I feel like that has helped me a lot, because in the past few days, if a person says something hateful to me, or just somebody in the house just does something doesn't sit right with me, I'll just be like, treat it with kindness. I'll call Dale Grashes, or I'll call one of my friends, like, or just call any. our call Karigo, yeah? So I feel like the moment I start talking to someone or the moment I just switch on music, it's like a coping mechanism for me that whatever they've said, it doesn't have to hurt me because that's their opinion. Because I remember I was having a conversation with my dad and my dad was like, people are going to make opinions of you and it's not your position. You're not in any position to take those opinions to heart because number one, they don't know you. They're speaking from their side of this coin. You're on the other side. So the moment you start taking those opinions to heart and you don't look for ways on how you can like distract those opinions from you and continue doing something that's going to prove them wrong, you're just going to hurt yourself. So I feel like, there's ways like going to therapy, speaking to friends. I would say speaking to friends helps a lot because at the same time, the person who said those words, they're just stating opinions, they're not facts. So I think it's okay to also set boundaries, but if they don't respect those boundaries, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody because at the end of the day, they're going to remain with, they will choose whether they want to remain with that opinion of theirs or they want to listen to you. So,
And I feel like we should have, we should be more careful with the people who have access to our peace.
Sure.
Because we can't just let everyone's and anyone's opinion have an effect on who we are. Because at the end of the day, like we can't I know we are creatures who absorb our environment, but we can't just be absorbing everything and everything. We won't be able to survive. So like we should, have you should just be self-aware of what can causes you, harm and what prevents your peace and just, having those boundaries so that you're good.
There's this concept of emotional toughness I've learned recently. I was watching this movie, Underrated by Stephen Curry, the Stephen Curry documentary. That movie is so beautiful because you can see how many people had so many opinions of him. Like when he was being drafted, they said, oh, he's too small, he's undersized, he rushes into shots, then he's the greatest three-point shooter of all time right now. There were moments in his life when he said there was his first college game, he played so bad, he had 13 turnovers. He was losing the game, but his coach believed in him. That's where it comes to view, like whose opinion of you, like what affects your peace, Like all the other people that told him that he couldn't make it, that didn't affect his peace. His coach believing in him one more time, that made his peace. You get me? Like having that one person who you believe, like you value their opinion, not everyone's opinion. Like you get me?
So it's also about not giving up on yourself to an extent. Like you go for what
if you know you can do it
about and you go for it. That's being your own superhero right there.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the bullying side. Now that we've already started stirring the pot a bit. Stirring the pot. Okay. Stirring. How do you stand up? Not the word. How do you stand up for oneself in any form of bullying, cyberbullying, or physical bullying? I think mostly on physical bullying, because before we were just talking about how friends mistreat you, so it's friends, so you could talk to them. But if it's just someone that actually straight up bullies you, like like someone on the internet just bullies you,
like cyberbullying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, when you said physical
like
bullying,
comments.
Physical bullying, like someone beats you up.
Because
Like,
when you just say things like maybe in the internet or comments, that's not like a physical.
Exactly, like cyberbullying.
Like any type, cyber or physical. Or verbal,
okay.
Like all.
So this is a very interesting question. Like I did research on cyberbullying as my final project of university, and there were interesting results. Like the way men or let's say, because I did that for university students, like how female university students and male university students cope with cyberbullying, it's very different. Like ladies would rather go for avoidance, like they would just shut down, like uninstall the WhatsApp or Instagram application, And then for men, they would just approach the bully, like they would even like fight or something like that, So there are just two different ways that a male person or a female person can cope with bullying or cyberbullying. But I would say bullying or cyberbullying is a very sensitive topic, and it affects a person's mental health, because a person can eventually have, some of the results were like some people were depressed, others started thinking about committing suicide, like you body shaming somebody else, like they will start questioning their self-image and lower self-esteem. So like, how can you stand up for yourself? The first thing I would say is, don't ever take bullying or cyberbullying lightly. Some people would say maybe he was just trying to be up straight, or he was just speaking his mind. That's not speaking. If it disturbs you, then it's not about it's not about him, it's about you. How do you take it? Does it affect you mentally? So don't take cyberbullying or any form of bullying lightly. Speak up. You can, for some people, we are all wired differently, as I said before. For some people cannot stand up, fight for, or fight with the bully, so you can just report, to the police. I have a friend who recently was cyberbullied, and she reported to the police.
Wait, how does that work? Do you go with a...
Yeah, you go you have the evidence, the comments, everything. You just go and report.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And I think it's one thing that some people don't even know, that he or she can report to the police station. Yeah. So yeah, you can if you ever experience cyberbullying, you can report to the police station. So reporting is always a good thing to do. Don't ever remain or bottle things up to yourself. So speak up, talk to your friends or even family. And if you think that, men are always they usually use approach strategy. They would just, there was this person I read, there was this article that I read, and there was this guy that was bullied. And so he decided okay, so I'm bullied, I think I should go after that young brother's bully. So he actually reached out to the young brother and he started beating him. So I think you don't have to use violence to stand up for yourself. I don't think if it's a good way to go. So don't use violence. Just find another healthy way to stand up for yourself. Report, speak up to people to get out all the emotions or all the anger, and say good things about yourself. Do you see yourself as other people see you? So just, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Practicing affirmations.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. Every morning in your mirror after showering or something, or right after you wake up.
And guys, for guys mostly, we know we like to approach, because in your mentality you're I can't take that disrespect.
What do you mean by approach? Going to fight them?
We're going to fight, yeah. There's this one there's this one poster. I saw this one meme where there was this black kid. He was taken to jail because he slept with his bully's moms. Everyone who bullied him.
Wow, that's too dark.
Okay, so sometimes I feel like you should think about maybe the consequences.
Yeah.
Yes, you are hurt, but at the same time, if you say, okay, the person who slapped me in the face, I'm just going to slap them back. What makes you're a better person. You're better off than them. Okay. So at the same time, when you slapping them, what's the point?
It won't change anything.
Yeah. What if they decide, okay, we're going to run over? When you see him on the road, we're going to run over him. What's the point? So I feel like you should think far ahead, and at the same time think about your safety first.
Sure.
Your safety.
Sometimes it's reassuring yourself. I saw another tweet at Twitter whereby the first person commented on a woman's post and said, "I could never date someone who looks like you."
Wow.
Then she came back and said, "I just went to your Instagram account. Delete this tweet before I show the whole world who you go to sleep with at night." He deleted his tweet.
Wow, okay.
This shows that sometimes people just talk. They talk a big game, but they can't back it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, there was this other video where it shows there was a company whereby they went through tweets and put people's contribution to that tweet. Someone said, "I could beat any woman fighter." Then they brought a woman fighter to fight with him. And then he apologized. They took all the tweets.
Okay.
And then you see, sometimes that people just talk.
Yeah.
So when someone bullies you, especially cyberbullying, just know they're talking a big game. They can't back it up.
Yeah, but also with cyberbullying, I feel sometimes, okay, it might be people who we know, but sometimes it might not be people we know. And I was seeing there was this video, no, it's a TikTok of Tom Holland saying what he learned from someone. If you have an issue with me, come talk to me privately, like message me. And if you don't have my number, then you don't have a problem.
Yeah,
Like, you don't have exactly.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
I don't know you. You don't know me. So the moment
Why do you have a problem
because
with me?
it all started with just is it a scene from a movie? Everybody just started spamming Tom Holland's account and whatever. So I feel like for the people who don't know you, the moment they start like putting hateful comment or dirty comments under your post, I think you should think about if these people I do not even know who these people are. My friend, this person doesn't have a job, sitting on the couch, eating popcorn. My friend, one of them is maybe homeless. Maybe this internet was just like a 500 MB, whatever. So I feel like before you take it into like
Hurt.
or into hurt, you should just think about, do these people even know me? I do not know. If it could be my mom maybe said, Ethel, my mom could not put it under a comment. My mom could call me, Ethel, I saw this and I feel like we should adjust this and this. But the moment a person who I don't even know goes there and just starts like putting hate on there,
It doesn't make sense.
But then still, it doesn't mean that because
it doesn't mean that you should take it lightly. But at the same time, don't think of
Don't let it affect your peace.
don't and also don't think about, I'm going to kill them or I'm going to physically see them, or don't like return the hate under that comment section, because at the end of the day, we're all struggling human beings.
And for physical bullying, guys, if you don't want to report and look like a snitch, I feel like you should just talk to your friends and see how they can help you.
Or you can go to the teachers.
Like, you don't have to beat the guy up, but next time, like, my point is, like, next time when he wants to physically bully you, like, your friends could just be there to intimidate.
Also,
like, to tell you to stop. Like, you don't have to actually hurt them.
Yeah. Also, I would like, at our school, there's an anonymous reporting system.
Yeah, I was about to ask the same question.
You can, like, it's a QR scan. You can.
It's in a website.
Yeah, you can scan it and then
Just
you can
write
write
down,
anything, any complaint you have. It goes straight to the director. So I feel like if schools had that, it would also like reduce bullying.
Yeah, because then you don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Like, who reported you, and then.
But at the same time, I feel
accountable.
like it's all about students caring about their safety and not
Exactly.
being called snitches. Because I remember before they sent out that anonymous thing, reporting system,
report anything.
we had this like, was it like a survey? I feel like most students, if you read the surveys, the comments my friends were writing down before they will post them, like I'll be sitting next to them and some of them will be like, why should I even report the bullying, or why should I even report the problem if you people don't like put much effort into solving it, or why should I report it if at the same time I have to be called in the office and testify? I feel like it all comes down to people don't want to go and like, why should I sit? Why should I sit next? If I've already written it down, why should I also come there? But at the same time, they also have to be there because we have to have these two sides of the stories. We can't just believe your side of the story. We also have to believe their sides of the stories in order to come up with a conclusion.
Then again, if they're not punished, then I'm seen as a snitch.
Exactly. So if they're not punished,
they're gonna get worse.
If they're not punished, or if they're not warned, or if the form of punishment isn't that serious, because if you're just going to tell a person to sit with Mr. Simon in the office and like type some things on the laptop and then that's it, the punishment is over. Personally, I wouldn't feel as if
exactly, and you won't report the next time.
Yeah, I won't report the next time because that person is going to come out of that office and hunt me down,
beat me.
So also like this, I feel like schools should have like I feel like all schools have it, but like a detailed structure, like protocol. What happens if someone is bullied? What happens if also it can be like sexual assault. What happens if someone uses like verbal abuse or something, like just having that.
You should have those policies calm down.
Sure.
Because the moment you don't have the
schools,
rules, those things are going to happen.
Exactly.
Like when we were in St. Monica, they used to talk to us about cyberbullying. Every Thursday we used to have this like morning assembly or would talk about cyberbullying, bullying, sexual assault, whatever. I feel like the rules that were in school, that's what made the students to like be disciplined. It all comes down to the rules, because if the rules say you can't like slap a person in class, or you can't abuse a person, you can't curse a person, I feel like that's when the students come into mind that if I abuse someone or if I bully someone, I'm going to be in serious consequences. Because like back then you'll be suspended, you'll be expelled, you have to like digging, like who used to have like kulima. You do cleaners, you do tons of chores in school, and that's when I feel like that's how students realize that
It's not worth it.
okay, forget about the punishment, but at the same time, the school has these rules laid down. Should I like just what's the point of me like slapping a person or verbally abusing them for me to go end up my parents being called here, me being embarrassed in front of my
All the
teachers plus my
trouble.
fellow students just because I wanted to make someone
Feel bad about
feel
themselves.
bad about themselves. So I feel like as a school, you should come up with these rules.
Yeah.
You should lay out rules because if there's no rules, people are just gonna do it.
And they should also be strict about them.
Yes.
Like, not just having
Yeah.
rules and then they don't do anything when a person goes against them.
Exactly. Like there should be strict rules because they're kids. I feel like also, yeah, it's also about bullying because I don't think a child, especially like for children or like teenagers, they just don't wake up and want to be bullies. It's like they either mirror and project what they see like from home or something, or it was like because bullies can also have been bullied at some point in their lives.
Interesting thing is that even parents can be bullies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Parents, I feel like parents are the most bullies, honestly.
Because it all starts at home, like children specifically learn a lot of things from home. So
Yeah.
like if they see their mom like calling them names, they'll eventually call their fellow students'
Yeah,
names.
they imitate.
Yeah.
They see and they do.
And I think that's like we should also talk on the side of you being the bully. Like sometimes you feel it's right because that's how we were treated.
But it's
Like,
not worth it.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know?
like if you feel like in your childhood your parents used to call you name, your older siblings will be like, they
Also
bully
older
you.
siblings can be bullies.
Yeah,
Not
true.
gonna lie.
So when they say those things to you, if you don't feel good about it, don't say it to someone else.
Yeah.
Because if you know that this in some way could hurt someone's feelings, don't do it. Like it's not worth it.
Being
I mean-
your own superhero can also be breaking
someone
the
else.
circle of
Yeah.
hate.
And I also think that's when projection starts. Like you start projecting your own trauma to other people. Yeah, because you experience bullying and then it affects you, and then you'll be like, why not making other people suffer?
Like if I'm
So, yeah.
suffering, what's
Yeah.
the suffering? That's why I
let's
said.
suffer
That's why I said
together.
you can find a person who's
Misery loves
leaving
company.
is leaving that hateful comment under your post. Maybe they're on the couch. They haven't paid their bills.
True.
They're just there frustrated. They have seen you glowing and
Yeah.
shining.
And
You're
they're
out
like,
there
"No."
confident on the top. They're like, nah, man.
I can't suffer alone.
Suffer alone. It just can't happen. So I feel like
That's true.
it's also that the moment a person is bullying you or the moment a person is like speaking hateful comments upon you, you don't know where they're coming from. So the moment you also start bullying them back, that's why I said be the better person.
Yeah.
You're better off than them. So
But then, like, that's like the next question from all this discussion is, you know how we have friends who are, I mean, there are people, I don't know if a person can be born narcissistic or like that's just something they pick up as they grow up. But then just how do you know, like, okay, I believe every person deserves to have a friend, yeah? How do we
Be friends with a narcissistic person.
how can we be friends with narcissists? Like,
but
how do
before
we-
that, can we first like differentiate between a person who is not a narcissist and a person who's a narcissist? Because in my
There's a big difference.
I cannot tell the difference who is a narcissist and who isn't. I really can't. Maybe it's because do I even know the meaning of narcissist? Okay,
It's like people who involve themselves in everything. Like they see themselves.
you see, they
Actually,
the
they
main
take
character,
they see themselves as they feel like they deserve everything. They take themselves so highly, like, and they also expect other people to look them like they're just that person.
Exactly. So like there's one thing being just mirroring and projecting
Yeah.
things, but then there's another thing being narcissistic.
Yeah, true.
How do I
Is it a
like
condition?
me as a friend, how do I say,
think
okay,
it's a
this
character.
person is mirroring and projecting things from home, maybe something happens to the person, or is it like this person is narcissistic?
You get to
and
know the person.
Me as a friend, I need to be there for this person, but I should not be too with them in a sense that they also affect me,
Yeah.
like mentally. How do we do that?
Well, first of all, like narcissism is a personality disorder. Yeah. according to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, like a narcissist person usually lacks empathy. Like they lack empathy. Well, if you have a friend who you would express your emotions to them, and they'll be like, what are you saying? And it's not just one time, it's always like every time you talk to that person, they just look down on you, like they don't feel what you're feeling. As a friend, you need to feel what the other person is feeling, like, and even if you don't have that let's say legit like advice or whatsoever, but you need to empathize with that person. So narcissists usually lack empathy, and they also feel like they're entitled to everything. They are entitled to everything, and like they also feel like they need to roll with people of the same quality. Like they see themselves as highly appreciated, so they usually don't roll with people who are of the lower class. And so if you have a friend like who is a narcissist, let's say you would say like, hey, let's go hang out with my friend. And if he or she sees like your friends are not that of the same class as he, then he'll be like, nah, I'd rather, like I can't roll with people who are just, and then he'll probably say something which is mean. So a narcissist also usually, another thing that they say that they believe that they're special.
Character.
They believe that they're special and unique, and they also expect that a person sees them as special, So if you don't see them as special, then that's another problem. So I think the first thing, how can you be a friend with a narcissist, is the first thing is to understand who they are. Yeah, get to know them, like, okay, so this person. And another thing is that a person is not born as a narcissist. It starts during adolescence and early adulthood. So get to know a person, like who is she, how he or she behaves, like the way he cannot empathize with people, And then another thing I can also say is that setting boundaries is always the good thing to do. Like if he or she tries to like look down on you or say something mean about your friends or other friends, and then you'll be like, hey, that's not a good thing to say to other people, And then I think at some point, if you two can't respect each other's boundaries, then eventually your friendship will no longer be there. So know who you are and what you want in a friend, and like at some point you can also, a person who is a narcissist cannot be a narcissist forever. Like they can change. So try to talk to that person. I think to change a person has to start with themselves first. Do they want to change?
You should want to change.
Yeah. So I think it's always the good thing to do. Know them and set boundaries and try to talk to them if they're willing to be a better person. Yeah. It's a personality thing, and it's not just changes in one night or something. Yeah.
So we should also be patient with them.
Sure.
So, coming with patience comes with the whole topic about, procrastination.
Procrastination is patient.
No, but I'm trying to link things together because when I see
feel like you're
patience,
reaching.
no.
I feel like you're reaching.
No.
Patience.
Just listen to me.
Procrastination.
When you're procrastinating, you just want to be, like a perfectionist to an extent, and you want to be
lazy.
patient. No. Actually, I don't know how procrastination is with patience. I don't know how I brought it up, but to me, I feel like there's a link. Just hear me out.
Yeah, let's hear out.
Yeah, hear me out. Imagine, you don't want to do work right now because you wanted to do it later, because you wanted to do it with patience and to a certain level of perfection. You see?
That's not procrastination.
No, like there's some people, like there's even this, I think it was an article, I don't know what it was, but it's explaining how some people who procrastinate are not because they're lazy or anything, but it's because they have this, they have this idea of perfection that they can't start unless like there is this set,
this kind of setting.
this type of aura or something happens, and I don't know, something like this happens at this time, and then they have to do it with this certain level of patience. and perfection.
I think procrastination comes in all. It can be that you want to perfect it. Sometimes procrastination come you are lazy or you're tired. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. Because the last time I told myself I'll work on my biology IE, that was a month ago.
But you haven't.
That was a month ago.
Have you done it?
Until today, I keep on telling myself,
You'll do it later because now
I'll be on this setting, because I told myself I'll do it. Like last week, I was like, I'll do it on the last week before going back
I'll
to
do it
school.
at school.
Because I was like, I'll do it the 1 week before going back to school, because when I open my laptop, I'll have that adrenaline rush. It's like in school. I'll procrastinate works and I'll wait until it's due tomorrow. That's
You'll start doing
I will
it.
not sleep the night before, and I love sleeping at 10. So I will not come out of my room and be like, I have to finish it. So I feel like procrastination comes in all ways. Like it comes in different ways and forms, and sometimes it can be a disadvantage to you, because at the end of the day you might find yourself you have a pile of work to do, and instead of doing it, you just become even more, you become lazier,
Demotivated.
because it's a lot.
yeah, because like at home we'll start in our laundry basket, we'll start with one cloth. And we'll be like, Ethan will do it, Denzel will do it, I'll do it. So we keep on rotating that ball. But by the time we come and figure out, we have to do laundry, it's overpiled. We have to put clothes outside it. We have to put the clothes beside it. So I feel like sometimes procrastination can lead to this thing of the more you keep on piling it up, the longer you take to finish it, and the longer I think your brain or your body just doesn't want to do it anymore.
So with this very detailed elaboration of what procrastination is and its effects, how would you advise we deal with procrastination? And I don't know, just the desire, the sense of there's this certain level of perfection and you have to reach, like that desire for perfection.
So I'm always curious about procrastination. Like I once wrote an article about procrastination. I even did an episode about procrastination on my podcast. Most people think that procrastination is a time management problem. Like I can't manage my time, which is why I even miss deadlines. But there is this psychologist say that procrastination is not a time management problem. It is actually an emotion regulation problem. How can you manage your emotions? How can you regulate your emotions at that particular time when you're supposed to do that particular task? Some people feel like, I'm lazy. But if you think about it, laziness is attributed to how you, like the failure to manage your own emotions. You feel like, I need to do this particular task. And you'll be like, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, maybe just later. I don't feel like doing it right now. Yeah. So like the failure to manage your emotions leads to procrastination. So it's a problem. And he also suggested that for you to beat procrastination, you need to give yourself a bigger, better offer. It's called BBO, a bigger, better offer, which means that you need to reward yourself. Like you have a task in hand and it has to be done before a certain time, a period of time, let's say. And then you need to think like, okay, what's going to motivate me? Like what's going to reward me, If I do this, what's going to happen next? Because most people procrastinate because they think like, okay, if I do this assignment, if I just submit it, then there's nothing else rather than just marks, so like you need to think of a bigger, better offer you give yourself. So if you think that reward, what's going to reward you next after submitting the assignment or even doing a certain project, then it will motivate you to do it at that time. And also another thing I would say is get it done. Exactly. Get it done. Just don't think about it. Like if you start think about it, then some people think like, okay, I'm not motivated right now to do it. But one thing I would say is that most of the time I do write. So most of the time I'm like, I don't feel like writing. But when I start typing, then all the ideas start flowing, So like as you start doing it, then it all just flows. So just get it done. Just do it. And another thing, have an accountable partner, Yeah, that's always the good thing to do. I remember like it reached a time where I felt like I should stop writing. I have my own blog and I was like, I should stop publishing articles whatsoever. And I was like, oh no, this is not something that I should do, because I kept on procrastinating. Like I used to publish an article every week. So at some point I was like, it's Thursday and tomorrow Friday I have to publish something and I don't have anything. So I was like, okay, I should have someone that's going to remind me. Like we set a timeline. Like, okay, if it reaches Tuesday, just check on me. Like, hey, is that article ready? Like, and a person who holds you accountable. So if you do have that person, then it will push you not to disappoint yourself, or even that person who invests his or her time to remind you. So I think with procrastination, these three things are very important to beat procrastination. Like, have an accountable partner, reward yourself, have that bigger, better offer, and then just get things done. Just start right away. Yeah.
Yeah. So the hardest
What?
thing with doing work is getting it started. So just
Yeah.
get started and
True.
Yeah,
don't think about
it's
it.
like Karigo usually says, the only way through is through.
Mm.
Yeah, like when I was writing my personal statement, I started writing my personal statement, I think on Monday. I finished it yesterday. Before finishing it, when I started the first 3 paragraphs, I was like, Ethel, when you're done with this, we're going to watch that K-drama show you love.
True,
I was watching 3 different K-dramas at the same time, and I was like, Ethel, we need to be serious.
Yeah.
Write the first 3 paragraphs, then you're going to watch that K-drama. I remember the moment I finished with the dot, I closed my laptop, I went to watch the
Bigger, better offer.
Yesterday I was with my mom, so at this point I'm more accountable because my mom was sitting right next to me, and she was like, "Are you done? Are you done? If you're done, you have to read it out. That's when you can stand and actually go do some other works." So I feel like the bigger, better offer works. Also
Yeah.
having someone like there to check on you.
It's like
And
accountable.
you have to just start. The moment you start typing,
True.
because at the same time I told my dad I don't have anything, but he was like, start typing it down, then you see that you have things to do.
But also, like, for me, I feel like when I'm trying to, like, not deceive myself, but just, like, set, maybe if I do this, I can do this. I feel like I'm lying to myself to an extent, because at the end of the day, I might not get myself what I actually promised myself. So just sometimes, just doing it. I feel like, the first, just doing it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just get
you
it.
know?
There's some good lies and bad lies. The bad lies will be like, as time goes, you age and you become smarter as you go, right? So it means if I do it now, I'm actually dumber than if I do it 10 days later, because I've become smarter.
Wow. Okay.
Now
that's
think about that logic. As time goes, you become smarter, right? So if I do it 10 days later, am I not smarter?
So you're going to let your work sit because you believe
Yes.
that 10 days later.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm doing it at a better time.
But also there's this whole, I don't know, it's a theory or something, but then for people who procrastinate, it's linked to how your system is wired to, like, punishment system. You won't do it unless there's a punishment. Or like you have like something on it, like a timer to you. Yeah.
I think for some people, they usually, I think, should I call it the adrenaline or something? Like, they do not perform unless there is something like
something
going,
like- either
So
like
it's
a bad
just,
thing.
I think it works differently for everyone. But eventually, what works best for you, then just go for
Go
it.
for it. Exactly.
Nothing gets work done, like seeing deadlines. 2 hours.
Okay, but at the same time, I feel like in St. Monica, especially in math work, we'll always get punished for it. When you fail, you get punished for it. When you're given a work today, you have to have it done before the next morning.
You get punished
But
for it.
you get punished for it, okay? But going
We get
to
the
because
trend.
that was the routine from the moment I started school until now that I'm in Form 5 and 6 now. It's different. It's an international school, no sticks, no nothing. When I tell you the last time I did Miss Carey's homework, I have no idea. 'Cause I'll sit with Lena. Lena is like my best friend from school, and we'll be like, Miss Carey is not going to punish us. Why are we doing it? So me, Lena, don't do it.
I don't think it's even the punishment. It's the fact that she doesn't check.
Exactly. So
So like I did it and then you didn't
her
check.
not checking
and
it.
he didn't do it. So there's not difference between me and you.
And if I sit in class, Shlelero, did you do it? No. Druva, did you do it? No. Lena, did you do it? No. The whole table didn't do it. Miss Carey goes to the next question, next syllabus, next
Wow.
topic, and I'm like,
But
Why should I do it?
that's it.
But then also it's about being disciplined though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I feel like
Even if there's no motivation to do
Mama,
something,
yeah.
discipline can actually make
Focus.
you
because Miss Carey doesn't care if I do that work or not. It's all about how
It's-
I
yeah,
discipline
you're not
myself.
doing it for
because
her.
I'm not doing it for her. And if the exams come, I'm the one who's going to fail. It's not going to. So I think it's all about discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're working against
I
ourselves.
just have to tell myself that in the past it used to be like this, but now I'm a more
We're
independent
becoming
person.
more
Yeah,
mature.
we're becoming more
Adults.
mature, so I have to
We're
like
shifting from you feeding from your mother's household or your father's household to you actually working towards
but
Yourself.
we are
Feeding
all
yourself.
growing. We are all growing towards that, because I cannot say that I'm completely independent
True.
now.
Yeah.
I'm still going
Guys,
towards
none of us are
that.
perfect. Me, I haven't done the work that she was saying. She
Well,
wrote 3
that-
paragraphs. I haven't started.
So like being one superhero is sometimes not like a burden, but like it can sometimes be overwhelming. You feel like you're a robot or something, and you just have to get through life. Sometimes you have to work every now and then, because also being on top of your schedule can also be a tough thing. When do you say is the right time for a person to seek for help? Like to stop being my own superior and ask for someone else to wear the cape. Meanwhile, as you, I don't know, fix the scars, put on, I don't know, some makeup.
We get the
wear
analogy.
tougher
We get the
shoes.
analogy.
Exactly.
We get the analogy. We
And
get
then
it.
just like get back the cape on and continue being your own superhero.
That's something that most people usually ask, like, when is the right time to seek for help? But I would say there is no right time, like any moment you feel like it doesn't have to be that moment that you bottle things up and they're too much for you to handle, like it doesn't have to be that moment. It can be even in the moment where you foresee that you're heading somewhere which is not right. So you need to seek help anytime. Like for me, most people think that psychologists can handle the troubles of life on their own, but it's not right.
Like there's this TikTok reel, psychologists being depressed. How can you be depressed? Look at your notes.
Come on.
True, so it's something which is like most people see it in a different perspective, but psychologists also do have their own personal psychologists, like because you deal with problems every day, people's problems, you assist them to solve their own problems. Who is going to assist you to solve your own? Like, you're aware, you have the theories, everything, but you need somebody to listen and help you get through it. So anytime is the right time to seek for help. Yeah.
So, with that being said, there's this thing that my therapist, I would say, always says. It's not about asking for help, but it's like when you are stressed and everything, when you want like a breather. The time when you don't have time to rest, that's the time to rest.
True.
Exactly. That's a food for thought. Actually, just something to digest, And the last final as we wrap the episode up. As being teenagers, you have everyone looking up to you, trying to tell you, oh, you have to do this. It's actually how we even started this conversation, this episode. As teenagers, we're told, oh, you can't do this university course. This is much more, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or like having just to have made up your mind, maybe, because now we're starting to apply for colleges, It's not looking good, and we don't know what we want to do exactly. We just have this vision. At some point when our parents ask us, what do you want to be? I just say, I just want to be rich, At this point, I don't.
That's the goal.
That's the
That-
goal.
that's
The goal.
always
I
been
don't
the
know how
goal.
am I going to get there, but we have to go. You have to get there. So, like, how would you advise teenagers to deal with the stress of an uncertainty or like an uncertain future, and the pressure that comes along with university, with life, with
Everything in general.
everything, whilst maintaining the mental peace?
It just reminded me of something that there was this Sundays, and the pastor was saying that the first thing that we do when we meet, let's say, a child or even a teenager, is the first thing we ask is, what would you want to be when you grow up?
Exactly.
But she said that what if we could ask something different, like, what kind of a person would you like to be? Because if you question yourself, like, what kind of a person you would like to be when you grow up, then it will help you to think about, okay, what career path then should I go for it? Like, if you get to know yourself, who you are, then it will create an easier path for you to be able to have that perspective, like, okay, if I am this kind of person, this works for me, these are my values, these are my boundaries whatsoever. Like, okay, then I can be or I can pursue this career path, you know. So I think I was just wanted to let that out. But then I think one thing to do is make your vision clear. You know, like if you have that clear vision of where you want to be specific, don't be abstract. You just be specific, like, okay, I want to. And I would say that before I explain this, is that it may work out and it may not work out. Just be in a position where to accept things. Because for some people, they would say, like, okay, I want to go to high school, I want to pursue science subjects, and then after that, I'll go to pursue medicine, you know, or even engineering, you know. But then the results of when they come out, the high school results may not be good for you to qualify to pursue medicine or even engineering subjects. So just be in a position where you are able to accept or work things out if they don't come as you expected before. So, but the thing is, you should have a clear vision of where you want to go. It may not work out right now, but it may work out eventually. I will share the story that I did pursue science subjects in my high school. Not because I wanted to, but because not because I wanted to, but because my dad was like, okay, he created this picture like, okay, when you're done with O level, you're going to high school, you're going to pursue PCB, you know, physics, chemistry, biology, and after that you go to Muimbili. You know, he even had that picture. You're going to Muimbili. Yes, you're going to be a doctor. You know, so he had that picture, and I took his picture and lived it out. You know, so I went to high school. I pursued PCB. I remember in physics classes, I didn't listen. I was just writing articles because it's something that I like to do, you know. So eventually, I graduated high school, but I took a moment and I questioned myself, like, do I really want to be a doctor? I can't handle blood, you know, like everything related to blood, seeing everything. It's not it. So there was this cousin of mine that asked me, like, what do you really want to be, Jacque? And, you know, just be faithful to yourself, be sincere to yourself, ask yourself that question, what do you want to be? And I was like, I'm really passionate about helping other people, like hearing them out, what they go through and try to assist them. And I was like, from nowhere, I just said I want to be a psychologist, and it felt so good, like speaking it out loud, because I've never done that before. So it felt so good, and I was like, why not? Why shouldn't I just go for it? So I took a year off. Like, I didn't go to school. I was just watching my friends going to school. I would visit them to unis. So eventually, I did go to uni, and right now I'm done. So I think it is all about making your vision clear and being sincere with yourself. Because if you start to listen what other people have to say, then you will lose track of who you are and what you want to become. So just be sincere and make your vision clear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 3 key takeaways. You should know yourself.
Yeah.
Have a vision of what you want. And then after that, you should be open and flexible to change. This path is not going. Change it. Stop going through the hurdles. I mean, sometimes there are hurdles. But then if there's no path, like there's a block, like there's no, this is the end of the road. Just be open to changing your road. Adjust.
Have a growth mindset.
Exactly. And the other one is just, you know, take time to, you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for your parents or for anyone else. You know, there's this saying, usichukue kombi kuatisha kuwashtua wenzako utajishtua mwenyewe. Exactly. Don't do it because you want people to think,
it's a
balaya.
Yeah.
You're an engineer. No. Just do it because you want to do it. Like, it gives you peace. You're passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like it's all about finding why you want to do it, because if the moment the hard times come, you will remember that I'm taking this for this.
Passion overrules everything.
Whether it's being a doctor, a musician, whatever, have a cause. The cause is what is going to keep you going. Because if you don't have a cause, you're going to drop it within a second. If I didn't have a cause to why I'm taking chemistry, I've taken history, global politics, I don't know. Music for some reason. But it's because I have, every day I'll remind myself, I'm taking this for this. This is what I want. Yeah. I feel like that's what gives you the drive to keep on going.
True.
It's true, guys.
Being your own superior can also mean going, I'm not saying going against your parents. I mean, we will have an episode about going against your parents, but just think about consequences and everything, and how if it's even worth it, if you want to go against your parents to pursue what you want. But at the end of the day, don't do something because your parents said so. Imagine you're at the end of the day, you're working and things are not looking good. Yeah. And you ask yourself, why am I even here? And you start resenting your parents or being angry at them because they made you pursue something you're not interested in. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're there to guide you but not control what you're doing.
Exactly. It's the life you are living, not you're living for them.
Yeah, that's true. So guys, be your own superhero, but don't overdo it. Just saying. Don't go fighting with your parents. Resist, but don't fight. Don't fight, guys. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. Lots of love. Till next time for more nitty-gritty talks. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.